What are the training requirements for my guards?
Local school crossing guard programs must conduct at least one school crossing guard training course per year for their guards, typically shortly before the start of the school year. An agency should provide additional training as needed. This will assure that all their guards are certified. Not only is it required, but it's critical for safety.
Only a certified trainer shall train and recertify school crossing guards.
If guards must be certified yearly, how do I certify my guards?
To become a certified school crossing guard, a guard candidate shall satisfactorily complete each component outlined in the uniform guidelines.
There are 3 components of guard training. These are classroom instruction, practical training, and supervised duty. Successful completion of classroom instruction and practical training are prerequisites to supervised duty.
What is the classroom instruction component?
The classroom instruction component builds the knowledge base for the skills that guards will use to help ensure the guard's safety and the safety of students at their crossing locations.
The guidelines describe some of the information to be covered during the classroom element, and you may develop this component to meet the needs of your agency.
After the classroom component, guards are administered a test created within the agency. Sample test questions are available on the database, but should also include agency-specific questions. To successfully complete the classroom instruction component, the prospective guard must pass the written examination with a minimum score of 75%.
Some of the other things you may want to include are an orientation to the agency and guard affiliation with that agency, an introduction to the schools near their posts, reviewing the primary function of a crossing guard, the guard's job description, its requirements and limitations.
There are administrative details such as the guard's salary and benefits, latent absence policy, where to legally park their vehicles, the agency's standard operating procedures in case of lightning and/or other inclement weather, the agency's standard operating procedures in case of emergencies, reporting procedures for hazards and operational problems at crossing locations. Reviewing cooperation of guards and vehicular traffic is important. Unless trained as a traffic control officer and employed subject to the conditions described in Section Florida State Statute 316.640, subsection 4, adult crossing guards shall not direct traffic in the usual law enforcement regulatory sense.
In the control of traffic, they shall pick opportune times to create a sufficient gap in the traffic flow. At these times, they stand in the roadway to indicate that pedestrians are about to use or are using the crosswalk, and that all vehicular traffic must stop, Section 7D.05.
What are other important things to cover?
Go over common traffic hazards at crosswalks and greatest threat assessment. Review and understand children's need to master safe crossing skills.
Emphasize familiarity with the school crossing related signs and pavement markings. Emphasize the importance of avoiding distractions and unrelated activities.
Prohibited actions per the guidelines include, but are not limited to, eating or consuming beverages except water, alcohol and illegal substance use,
Listening to a radio or any type of portable audio player or reading, wearing earbuds and/or use of other Bluetooth devices, using a mobile device except for emergency purposes.
And it is crucial to remind your guards that both sitting when on duty and leaving their post when on duty are prohibited.
What is the practical training component?
This involves interactive teaching where the trainer demonstrates crossing techniques and procedures. The candidates should have an opportunity to practice their crossing skills under various conditions.
Practical training does not involve children. Practical training takes place at an actual crosswalk or at a crossing or at a simulated intersection set up in a parking lot.
One training technique involves prospective guards playing the roles of guards, children, and cars. Any necessary props should be arranged in advance of the training.
Trainers should conduct practical training that prepares guards for the range of crossing situations involving signalized and unsignalized intersections or mid-block crossings to which they may be assigned during the school year. Start your practical training by reviewing crossing fundamentals and procedures. To build knowledge and confidence, introduce techniques gradually, starting with basic steps such as using the stop paddle, talking to the children, and then moving to the more complex, such as searching for traffic and using the whistle. For a larger class, it may be necessary to arrange multiple trainers to assist or break into groups and rotate groups between classroom and practical training. It is also recommended that trainers discuss how the performance checklist is used to evaluate the guard's skills.
What is the performance checklist?
Trainers record the guard's classroom training and exam grades as well as the results of practical training and supervise duty using the performance checklist. Program trainers use the performance checklist as an evaluation and a record-keeping tool.
What is supervised duty?
After the guard has successfully completed classroom instruction and practical training, he or she must satisfactorily pass the supervised duty.
During supervised duty, guards conduct crossing during a regular shift at a crosswalk.
A guard must be observed no less than 2 shifts in accordance with the responsibilities outlined on the performance checklist.
A trainer observes the guard to ensure that the crossing guard is satisfactorily performing his or her duties.
Refer to the performance checklist for specific instructions. Remember the following conditions in your performance checklist duties.
One observation should be conducted in the morning and the other in the afternoon, if the guard works both a morning and an afternoon shift. Observations are conducted for a minimum of 30 minutes each.
Supervised duties should be completed within 4 weeks of a guard assignment, so any problems in the guard's crossing technique or procedure can be promptly addressed.